Hey there, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here tonight. It feels like coming home, doesn't it? Just you, the quiet, and a soft voice guiding you into something wondrous. Imagine, for a moment, that as you lie still beneath your blanket, the world above fades away and you begin to sink. Not really, of course, but gently in your mind, drifting down through calm, dark water. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. The weight of the day lifts and the sea cradles you. So go ahead, let your shoulders relax. Let your breath slow. There's no rush, no need to hold on. Just rest and listen. Let's begin. Now, let's begin. Tonight, you'll hear about quiet wonders far below the waves, about hidden lakes on the ocean floor, about glowing creatures in endless night, about eyes that watch in the dark, and sharks that have seen centuries pass. Each fact will drift by like a slow current, soft and steady. If nights like these help you unwind, subscribe, and I'll be here whenever you need me. Now let's begin. If we could lift Mount Everest from its snowy home and lower it gently into the Mariana Trench, its peak would remain hidden beneath more than a mile of water. Can you picture that? The tallest mountain on Earth swallowed whole by the sea. The trench itself curls deep in the western Pacific, a quiet canyon reaching nearly 36,000 feet down. At that depth, the water is absolutely still, dark, untouched by wind or weather. Pressure builds there, over 1,000 times stronger than at the surface, quietly pressing in on a hidden world. And yet, life thrives. Delicate, slow-moving, perfectly shaped for the hush of the abyss. Down there, silence isn't empty. It's full of secrets and soft, gliding shadows. Far below the sunlit waves, in the quiet belly of the Gulf of Mexico, there are lakes no boat could ever sail. These are brine pools, hidden, glassy basins formed by salt so dense it rests on the seafloor like liquid stone. They don't mix with the water above, forming calm, rippling shorelines in the deep. It's as if someone carved out a secret pond at the bottom of the world. Along the edges, tiny microbes bloom in quiet abundance and delicate tube worms sway ever so slightly in the current. Nothing rushes here, no tides, no storms, just stillness and the slow breath of life beneath the sea. In the deep, where sunlight has long since faded, more than 80% of creatures carry their own quiet glow. This is bioluminescence, a soft, gentle light, shimmering in blue and green, like distant stars beneath the waves. Lanternfish blink in the dark, their tiny lights flickering like candle flames in a vast cathedral of water. Jellyfish drift by, their translucent bodies pulsing with a calm inner radiance. No one sees them, not really, but down there, in that endless night, they light each other's way. It's not a spectacle, it's a quiet conversation written in light, whispered between friends in the dark. Gliding through the cold, deep waters of the Arctic and North Atlantic, swims one of Earth's quietest elders, the Greenland shark. It moves slowly, less than 1 mile per hour, as if it has all the time in the world. And perhaps it does. Scientists believe some are over 400 years old. A shark swimming now could have been born in the time of Shakespeare, long before the first light bulb or airplane. It drifts beneath the ice, unseen, a silent witness to centuries of change above. No rush, no noise, just the slow, calm pulse of a life measured in hundreds of winters. And deep in the midnight zone, where even the faintest light is precious, lies the elusive giant squid. Its most striking feature? Eyes as wide as your hand, up to 11 inches across, like great dark pools of still water. These enormous eyes are tuned to catch even the tiniest spark of light in the endless dark. They peer into the twilight depths, watching for shadows, for movement, for life. We rarely see them, but we imagine them drifting, thoughtful, with eyes that have seen more of the deep than we ever could. And in that quiet, they remain mysteries of the deep, watching and waiting in perfect peace. Along the deeply submerged ridges of the ocean floor, where sunlight has never touched, towering hydrothermal vents rise like ancient stone chimneys from the dark earth. They breathe out warm, mineral-rich plumes, a gentle warmth curling into the near-freezing water, like steam from a forgotten spring. These quiet geysers feed a hidden forest, not of leaves but of life. Delicate bacteria, unseen and ancient, draw energy not from the sun, but from the very breath of the planet itself, converting minerals into sustenance through chemosynthesis. Above them, swaying in unseen currents, stand fields of giant tube worms, their red plumes drifting like silk banners in the deep. Pearly crabs, blind and calm, move softly between them, touching this world with quiet reverence. No sun, no seasons, just the slow, steady pulse of the Earth's heart, and far above, in a hidden layer of the deep sea, where pressure and cold meet in perfect balance. Sound finds a way to travel farther than we once believed possible. This is the Sofar Channel, a quiet corridor of water where sound waves glide for thousands of miles. Here, the songs of great whales float like deep, resonant dreams. A call begins near Antarctica and drifts across the ocean, clear and whole, to be heard near the equator. These are not cries, but conversations. Slow, thoughtful melodies pass between distant souls. In the endless blue, they are never truly alone. In the cold hush of the deep seafloor, where time moves like thick water, some creatures grow in unexpected ways. The giant isopod, gentle cousin to the tiny pillbug you might find beneath a garden stone, can grow as long as your hand, 16 inches of quiet resilience. It crawls across wide, sandy plains, its armored body glinting faintly in the dim glow of bioluminescence. With a metabolism so slow it can wait years for food, it moves with unhurried patience, as if the world has all the time it needs. And floating in the stillness of the oxygen minimum zone, thousands of feet below the restless surface, drifts the vampire squid. Its name sounds mysterious, even eerie, but it is a creature of softness. Rust-colored and velvety, it folds its webbed arms over its head like a cloak, drifting like a slow-turning umbrella in the dark. It eats not by hunting, but by gathering, capturing flakes of marine snow, tiny bits of life and debris, as they fall past like quiet confetti from a distant world above. At last we reach the very bottom, the silent heart of the Challenger Deep. Here, the ocean floor is not sharp or jagged, but soft, plush, covered in a blanket of yellowish-brown sediment, so fine it looks like dust on an old book. And it is made of something astonishingly gentle, the empty shells of tiny, ancient plankton, microscopic beings that lived and died, and began a slow, quiet fall from the surface. Thousands of feet up, millions of years ago, one by one, they drifted down, and down, and down, until they settled here, in the deepest, most peaceful silence on Earth. Deep beneath the Gulf of Mexico, a quiet secret lies hidden from sunlight and storms. Here, on the ocean floor, lie mysterious underwater lakes, brine pools so rich in salt they resist mixing with the surrounding sea. They sit still, like ancient mirrors, untouched by tides. Around their edges, tiny waves ripple gently, forming shorelines no larger than a handspan. Currents drift slowly along their surfaces, as if guided by silent, unseen hands. Imagine a lake beneath the sea, calm and separate, dreaming in the dark, and far away beneath the thick, icy ceilings of the Arctic. A slow traveler glides through the cold, dim waters. The Greenland shark, silent, patient, older than memory, drifts through canyons of deep blue. Some of these graceful beings were born over 4 centuries ago, long before the first stone of the Taj Mahal was laid. Their eyes, clouded with time, hold stories older than nations. They move as if time itself has softened, stretching into centuries. Above them, in the endless space between sky and seafloor, a quiet rain falls. Not from clouds, but from life itself. Marine snow, soft fragments of algae, shed skins, and drifting remains, drifts down like memories letting go. It falls for weeks, sometimes months, in a serene descent. And far below, in the hush of the deep, tiny creatures wait, their lives sustained by this gentle floating nourishment in the Ogasawara Trench, where pressure shapes life into quiet forms. A delicate fish dances in the black. The Mariana snailfish pale, scaleless, almost dreamlike moves with effortless grace. At nearly 27,000 feet, it is the deepest fish ever seen alive. Its body, nearly transparent, seems made of water and shadow. It flows through the cold as if the ocean itself had learned to swim. And somewhere in the deep, sound travels in ways we are only beginning to understand. There is a hidden path, deep and quiet, where sound lingers, journeys, sings. The Sofar Channel cradles low voices, carrying them across oceans. A whale's call may leave the coast of Greenland and arrive near Antarctica, still clear, still whole. Across continents, across years, they speak in tones too deep for us to hear. And in that silence, the ocean remembers every note. You're drifting now, and that's just where the deep sea wants you, slow, quiet, held in the hush of immense ancient waters. Imagine a crack in the earth far below, where the ocean floor pulls apart, and from that slow split, warmth rises. In 1977, explorers sent a small craft deep into the Galapagos Rift and found something impossible, life glowing, bustling life. where no light had ever touched. No sun, no sky, only the faint pulsing heat from our planet's core. And around these warm hydrothermal vents, a hidden garden thrives, not on sunlight but on chemistry, on the quiet alchemy of minerals turning into energy. This is chemosynthesis, a gentle miracle, where life begins not with a spark, but with a slow, deep breath from the earth itself. And in these warm, mineral-rich waters live the giants of the deep, tube worms, some stretching 8 feet tall, like pale swaying pillars in an underwater cathedral. Their bodies are wrapped in soft white tubes, and at the top a delicate crown of crimson, like a flower that breathes only in darkness. They have no mouth, no stomach, nothing to chew or swallow. Yet they grow and live and sway, because inside them a quiet alliance blooms. Tiny bacteria, living safely within, turn sulfur into sustenance, a partnership forged in silence, older than memory. And farther out in the still, dim layers between sea and shadow, floats the vampire squid, its name sharp with myth, but its nature so much softer. It does not hunt, does not rush. It simply drifts, unfurling 2 long, thread-like filaments, gathering falling bits of life. Marine snow, soft as dust, settling from above. When it rests, it wraps itself in its own webbed arms, a dark, velvety cloak, like a monk in meditation, breathing slowly in the ocean's quietest hour. And down there where time moves differently, life grows larger. Stranger, a phenomenon called deep-sea gigantism. The giant isopod, a cousin to the pillbug you might find under a stone. But here it's the size of a small cat, armored, slow, creeping across the seafloor like a relic from another age. Cold pressure, scarcity, these forces shape its long, deliberate life. Food is rare, so it waits and grows, not fast but steady, over decades, a quiet giant, patient as the deep. And scattered across the abyssal plains, like sleeping mountains beneath a dark sea, are seamounts, thousands of them, never seen, never named. They rise from the darkness, some taller than Everest, yet never break the surface. On their slopes, ancient corals bloom, not in color, but in form. Delicate branches growing, inch by century, in complete blackness. They do not need light. They need only time, and the slow dance of currents, bringing whispers of food from far above. Hey, still with me? That's okay. You can stay a little longer. The deep doesn't mind. If you're enjoying this, a like helps other dreamers find their way. Deep in the ocean, where light fades into soft shadow, a quiet snowfall drifts through the stillness. Marine snow, tiny pieces of life that once floated near the surface, now sink slowly, gently, like feathers on a breath of wind. Bits of plankton, grains of sand, soft dust from faraway lands, all join this silent descent, week after week, layer upon layer. It falls, through darkness, through time, and far below, where the seafloor stretches wide and calm. Delicate creatures wait, feeding on this quiet gift from above. Life continues, in stillness and silence, on the ocean's deepest blanket of white, on the floor of the deep sea, where time moves like a slow breath. Glass sponges grow, tall and fragile, woven from pure silica, like lace made of starlight. They rise translucent and glowing in the faintest hint of blue. The Venus flower basket, a delicate spiral, a living lantern, stands like a quiet guardian in the dark. Inside its hollow form, a pair of tiny shrimp move together in slow, graceful circles, finding shelter, finding home. And the sponge, so fine it seems made of light, guides the faintest glow deeper down, like whispers of the sun, carried gently into the deep. Far below the waves, in a hidden layer of water, sound moves differently. Here in the Sofar Channel, where pressure and cold meet in perfect balance, sound can travel for thousands of miles, without fading. Baleen whales, gentle and vast, sing low songs, rumbling through the deep. Their voices, deep and soothing, like the hum of the earth itself, drift across oceans. A mother calls. A calf answers. Not in haste, but in patience, in peace, and in the quiet dark, across endless miles they hear each other. Softly, surely, always. Drifting in the twilight zone, a creature almost too delicate to believe, builds a home from nothing but mucus. The giant larvacean, small and translucent, spins a palace around itself, a balloon of fine threads, glistening in the dim. This fragile fortress, up to 3 feet across, filters the water, catching tiny bits of food like dust in a sunbeam. But when it grows heavy, Clouded with debris, the larvacean lets go and swims free, without urgency, without sorrow. It begins again, spinning a new home, from its own quiet magic, in the endless dark. And on the seabed, beneath the Gulf of Mexico, there are lakes, not of fresh water, but of brine. So dense with salt, they lie at the bottom, like pools of ancient syrup, still, separate, unchanging. Waves move across their surface, slow, dreamlike, lapping against invisible shores, and sometimes deep-sea creatures. Crabs, shrimp, drift near, hovering above, as if drawn to the calm. No ripples break the peace, no storms disturb the silence. Just these quiet lakes resting deep beneath the sea, holding their secrets in stillness, in shadow, in slow, eternal drift. A single drop of water begins its journey in the far reaches of the Arctic. It slips beneath the surface, pulled slowly into a hidden river beneath the sea. This is the great ocean conveyor belt, a deep, quiet pulse that moves with the patience of centuries. It flows through darkness, through silence, across every ocean on Earth. Warmth and salt guide its path, like a compass written in whispers. It may take nearly 1,000 years for that one drop to return where it began. And all the while, the planet breathes with it, steady, calm, alive. Between light and shadow, in the ocean's twilight, something long and silver drifts. The giant oarfish, a ribbon of moonlight in the deep. It rises, slowly, almost like a dream remembered upon waking. Its body shimmers, its red fins waving like soft silk in a slow breeze. It moves with grace, undulating like a wave in a forgotten lullaby. Sailors once whispered of sea serpents, stirred by glimpses of this gentle wanderer. But there is no fear in it, only quiet, beauty, silence. Far below, in cold and darkness, the Greenland shark glides without hurry. Its body moves like a shadow through time, older than nations, older than memory. 4 centuries, perhaps more, have passed since it first entered the deep. It sees the slow turn of ice, the shifting of continents, the quiet breath of the world. Its heart beats once, then waits, then beats again in rhythm with the deep. It carries stories in its stillness. Stories no one will ever hear. And still, it drifts, peaceful, patient, eternal. In the endless night of the deep, a small light begins to turn. The Atolla jellyfish, glowing like a tiny galaxy adrift. Its rim pulses, a slow wheel of blue, spinning without sound. Each flash, soft as a sigh, ripples outward into the dark. For a moment, the water becomes sky, filled with quiet stars. Then the light fades, and the deep returns to stillness. But the memory of light lingers, like a dream within a dream. And on the ocean floor, where no sunlight ever reaches, warmth rises. From cracks in the earth, mineral-rich water curls upward, gentle, slow. Towers of stone grow here, like castles built by time itself. Around them, life gathers, not from the sun, but from the earth's own breath. Giant tubeworms stretch their red plumes, swaying in the warm current. They live in quiet harmony, with tiny beings no eye can see. Together, they thrive, in peace, in darkness, in balance. And the vents breathe, as the ocean dreams, and the world turns softly on. In the very deepest parts of the ocean, where light has never reached, a quiet rain begins, not of water but of life. This is marine snow, tiny pieces of carbon, shells so small they float like dust, nutrients falling, for weeks without hurry. It drifts down from far above, where sunlit waves once danced, now carried on silent currents, toward the dark floor, where ancient creatures wait. And there, in silence, it gathers, a soft, thick blanket, covering the deep, with the slow gift of time. Far below the frozen edges of the northern sea, a shadow moves, without rush, without sound. The Greenland shark, a quiet traveler, glides through cold so still, it feels like memory. Its body knows no hurry, its heart beats once, then waits, then beats again. In 2016, the world learned this gentle being has seen centuries pass, 400 years or more, drifting beneath ice, where time forgets to count. It knows no sun, only the quiet dark and the vast, unhurried now. And deeper still, where the seafloor folds into hollows, a strange stillness forms, not part of the sea. yet resting within it. In the Gulf of Mexico, hidden from all eyes are lakes beneath the waves, pools so heavy with salt, they do not mix, they do not stir. They lie, perfect and still, with quiet shores of mineral. Ripples moving slow, as if breathing. Submarines have paused to watch. This quiet water resting on the ocean's bed, like a dream remembered but never spoken. Now imagine, a creature, soft and wide, floating like a thought in the endless dark. The Dumbo octopus, with fins like ears, from stories long forgotten, hovers just above the floor. It does not flee. It does not rush. Its body opens like an umbrella. Its movement, a slow turn, a gentle drift, a quiet spin. At 13,000 feet, where pressure holds everything close, it dances, not for eyes, but for the deep itself, a silent waltz in the heart of the world's quietest hours. And in the midnight zone, where rock meets time, something delicate waits, built not of flesh, but of glass. Glass sponges, ancient, patient, anchor themselves to stone, their bodies, woven from silica, like spun light, stand tall, filtering the slow currents, drop by drop. One, known as Monorhophus chuni, grows a single spicule, a tower of glass 10 feet high, built grain by grain over thousands of years. It shines faintly, in the absence of light, a quiet sculpture of time and stillness and deep, deep peace. A great whale, in time, comes to rest, its body beginning a slow and gentle descent. Down through the quiet dark, toward the vast, quiet plains of the ocean floor. And when it finally settles, it gives life, a quiet gift to a world so deep, so still, that even the smallest movement feels like a whisper. This is a whale fall, a peaceful gathering of abundance in a place of stillness, where the seafloor, usually so bare, is warmed by the gift of nourishment. For decades, 50 years or more, delicate worms with soft feathery crowns arrive, drifting crustaceans settle in. Tiny lives bloom in the hush of this hidden sanctuary. And all is calm, all is slow, all is part of a cycle as old as the sea itself. Across the deep in waters where sunlight never reaches, lives a creature called the vampire squid. Though it harms no one and means no danger, it drifts in the quiet zone, where oxygen is thin and the world is hushed, its body wrapped in skin like dark velvet. It unfurls a single fine filament, a thread as delicate as a thought, to gather tiny particles from the water, softly, patiently, without need for speed. And when it rests, it folds its webbed arms around itself, a living cloak, and becomes part of the shadow once more. Far above in the middle seas, there is a rhythm, a quiet rising and falling of life that follows the turning of day and night. Sonar once caught a strange echo, as if the seafloor itself moved, rising at dusk, sinking at dawn. But it was no landform, only the breath of millions. Tiny lanternfish, delicate crustaceans, drifting upward in the dark, a slow rising tide of quiet wanderers, to feed beneath the stars. And when morning's faintest glow touches the surface, they glide down again, back to the safety of the deep, returning to serenity, on the soft mud of the very deepest places, where pressure is immense and cold is constant. Life still rises, not in haste, but in grace. Sea pens grow there, like ancient quills from forgotten times, crowded colonies of tiny polyps, standing tall in swaying meadows. When the water shifts, when a creature passes, they glow, a soft pulse of green or blue, like stars being born beneath the sea. No sound, no rush, only the slow dance of light, in a world that has never known the sun. And in this stillness, life grows differently. Some creatures grow larger here, much larger than their cousins in shallow waters. A quiet wonder, known as deep-sea gigantism, the giant isopod, nearly 16 inches long, moves with a slow, ancient grace, its body shaped by cold and pressure, by the absence of light, by time that flows like deep water. It grows not in bursts but in patience, over years, over quiet decades. A creature shaped by stillness, and in this endless night, where no tide is sudden and no storm reaches down, life finds its own peace, its own rhythm, its own beautiful, unhurried way of being. All is drifting, all is soft, all is held in the deep's gentle embrace. A soft rain falls in the deep ocean, not from clouds, but from the surface above. Tiny flakes of life drift down slowly, Bits of plankton, feathers of jellyfish, fragments of ancient blooms. They float, like dust in a sunbeam, but through darkening blue, no rush, no hurry, just a quiet descent, through silence, through cold. Weeks pass as one flake spirals down, and down, and down, carrying food, carrying life to those who wait below. Far above, in icy northern waters, a shadow glides. The Greenland shark moves like a thought, barely there. Its body knows no need for speed, no need to hurry. Centuries unfold around it, like slow waves on a distant shore. It swims through time, 400 winters, 400 summers, a single life, stretching across generations. While empires rose and forests grew, it drifted, calm, still, alive. Beneath the weight of oceans lies a world without edges. The abyssal plains, flat, wide, endless. A soft blanket of fine silt covers everything, settled grain by grain over millions of years. No wind, no storm, only peace, complete and deep. Here, the past is not buried, it is preserved. Each layer, a whisper of time gone by. And all of it, still, still, still. In the midnight zone, where light does not reach, a creature floats. The vampire squid. No fangs, no fury, just darkness and quiet. It does not chase, it does not hunt. Instead, it waits. Two thin threads stretch out like whispers in the current, gathering falling snow, strand by strand, a gentle diner at the table of the deep, fed by the sky above, though it never sees it. And so it dreams, in the hush of forever. Deeper still, in cold still waters, glass sponges rise. Like crystal flowers, grown from time itself. Their bodies woven from glass, thin as breath, strong as stone, each layer added over centuries. A single sponge might have begun growing when the first pyramids were built, or earlier, long before memory. They stand, silent, in the dim light, holding the past in fragile, glowing arms. Life, so slow, it feels like stillness, but it is moving, always gently, growing. The Dumbo octopus floats in a world of stillness more than 22,000 feet below the surface, where sunlight has long since faded into memory. It moves with such grace, flapping its ear-like fins, slow, steady, like a dream of flight beneath the weight of the sea. No rush, no noise, just the quiet pulse of life drifting through the cold, dark water, a tiny shadow shaped like an elephant in flight, gliding through the endless hush. Somewhere far away, deeper than mountains are tall, a silent current begins its journey. It is part of the global conveyor belt, a vast, invisible river flowing through the heart of the ocean, guided only by the gentle differences in salt and temperature. This water moves not in days but in centuries, each drop taking nearly 1,000 years to circle the planet, slow as breath, deep as time. And as it flows, it carries whispers of distant shores, delivering nutrients in silence, in patience, across the wide, dark floor. In the darkness, where no coral should thrive, ancient reefs still grow. Far beneath the waves, off the coast of Norway, lies the Roast Reef, a hidden forest of white and gold, stretching for 25 miles across the seabed. These cold-water corals need no sun, no bright algae to live. They feed on what the currents bring, drifting particles from far above. And they grow so slowly, just a few millimeters each year, building towers over centuries, silent monuments to stillness. Now imagine a tiny creature no bigger than your hand floating in the endless deep. It is the giant larvacean, and around it blooms a fragile glowing balloon made of mucus, clear as thought, light as air. This living filter traps food from the water, a quiet feast in the dark until the net is full and no longer useful. Then, with a gentle twist, the creature leaves it behind, and the balloon begins to fall, drifting down like a soft sigh, sinking slowly, becoming snow for the seafloor below. And there, in the soft mud where time has no urgency, deep-sea cucumbers wander. Pale pink, soft violet, faintly glowing, they move like shadows across the ancient silt. Each step is a whisper, a slow, rhythmic grazing, combing through centuries of fallen particles, leaving behind delicate trails like footprints in moonlit sand. They do not hurry, they do not fear, they simply exist in the deep, quiet rhythm of the sea. Still here? That's all right. You're safe, floating just like the Dumbo octopus, carried by unseen currents in perfect stillness. Let everything soften. I'm still here with you. You don't have to hold on, just rest and breathe and drift. Far below, where sunlight fades into memory, a quiet snowfall drifts through the dark. Marine snow, soft, silent, falling. Tiny bits of life, fragments of ancient plankton, specks of dust, spiraling down like dandelion seeds on a breeze. They fall for weeks, sometimes months, drifting through vast open water. And deep below, in the hush of the ocean floor, this gentle rain feeds a hidden world. Creatures wait, still, patient, nourished by the slow descent of what the surface once gave. Pause, gliding through cold, slow waters of the North Atlantic, a shadow moves without hurry. The Greenland shark, massive, calm, breathing time in centuries. In 2016, scientists looked into its eyes and found echoes of the 1600s. Over 400 years watching the deep turn in silence. It swims not to chase but to be. A rhythm older than cities, older than most written words, flows through its muscles. Cold, still, full of ancient peace. Pause. On the floor where currents whisper through eons, glass sponges rise like frozen breath. Built from silica spun like lace by time and tide, they stand, delicate and strong. The Venus flower basket shaped like a lantern holds secrets in its lattice. Tiny shrimp, born in pairs, enter young and never leave. They live, mate, grow old inside its glowing frame, and the sponge channels soft light like starlight pulled into the deep, guiding the quiet dance of life within. Pause. Every dusk, as the surface cools, a billion lives begin to rise, not with sound, not with force, but with slow, collective breath. Zooplankton, small fish, drifting upward through darkening layers toward where the faintest light remains. They come to feed in silence under the cover of deepening blue. And sonar once mistook them for the ocean's bottom, so vast, so thick, this living veil. Then as morning nears, they sink again, melting back into shadow, returning to rest. The greatest migration no one ever hears. Pause. At the very edge of pressure, 26,000 feet down, where water presses like a buried secret, the Mariana snailfish floats. Pale, soft, almost ghost-like. No scales, no hard bones. Just jelly and grace shaped for the crush of eternal depth. It undulates like a leaf in slow current, not fighting, just being. Discovered in 2014, a whisper in the trench, it reminds us life finds a way even in the quietest, darkest cradle. And there beneath miles of water it drifts, a gentle spirit in the deepest sleep of the sea. Pause. All is slow, all is deep, all is quiet. And the ocean breathes on. Softly now, drifting deeper. Imagine a tiny creature, shaped like a little tadpole, floating in the quiet darkness of the middle sea. It breathes gently, and from its body flows a delicate web of mucus, clear as starlight, soft as mist. This living bubble grows, expands, until it becomes a vast, floating home, more than 3 feet across. Inside, invisible threads catch falling bits of the ocean above, tiny specks drifting down like snow. When the house grows heavy, the creature lets go, and floats away to build anew. And the old home sinks slowly, carrying carbon with it. A quiet gift to the deep. Down it goes, like a whispered secret, sinking into stillness. Far below, where light does not reach, something strange begins to appear. A calm, still surface. Not of the sea, but beneath it. A lake, formed not of fresh water, but of brine, heavy and dense. It pools on the ocean floor, like a mirror left by an ancient tide. Around its edges, mussels rest, and tube worms sway, as if on a quiet shore. Even here, tiny waves ripple, slow and silent, across the surface of this submerged sea. No wind stirs it, only the gentle pulse of the planet beneath. It shimmers, hidden, forgotten, a quiet dream beneath the waves. In the cold and endless dark, something grows, without light, without haste. Lophelia pertusa, a coral pale and slow, building labyrinths of stone. For over 8,000 years, it has reached upward in silence. Branch by fragile branch, forming forests no eye has ever truly seen. Here, sea stars drift, urchins pause, fish slip through hollow halls, a refuge built grain by grain, in the stillness of deep time. No sun touches this place, only the slow pulse of cold water, yet life finds a way to linger in quiet wonder, and when a great whale, at last, lets go of life, it does not vanish, but sinks, gently, gracefully, a slow descent, a quiet return to the world from which it came. Its body lands softly upon the ancient floor, and around it, life begins again in hushes and shadows. Bone worms arrive, soft and pale, like threads of memory. They wrap the bones, not with violence, but with care. breaking down, returning, giving back. For decades, a century, the circle turns. Nothing is lost, only changed in this deep, quiet dance. And beneath it all, moving so slowly that time forgets its pace, a river flows, not of sand or stone, but of water. Born of salt and cold, it winds through the abyss, the global conveyor belt, a hidden pulse. One drop may take 1,000 years to circle the earth, carrying warmth, nutrients. The quiet breath of the ocean, it moves, not with force but with patience. Like the slow rise and fall of a sleeping chest. While we dream, it journeys, and the deep sea breathes with us. Now, rest. The water holds you. All is drifting, floating, gone in the deep, where light never reaches. A soft rain falls, but not from clouds, not from storms. This rain is made of ancient plankton, fragments of shells, feathers of jellyfish. A quiet cascade of life returning, marine snow, drifting, twirling, sinking, 1 millimeter at a time. It falls so slowly. A single flake may begin its journey at the sunlit surface and only touch the seafloor after weeks, after months. A gentle gift to the still, waiting beings below, who know no haste, only patience, only time. And somewhere beneath the polar ice, where the water is cold and still, a shadow moves, not in panic, not in pursuit, but in slow, steady grace. The Greenland shark, growing less than a centimeter each year. One breath, one flick of its tail. In a lifetime of stillness, its body remembers centuries. It has seen glaciers form, and kings rise and fall, without ever rushing, without ever needing. It simply is a creature of deep time, the longest lived of all backboned life, floating like a thought from one age to the next, far below, where pressure shapes stone from sand, and silence is older than memory. A forest grows, not of wood, but of glass, sponges built from the bones of the sea, silica spun into lace, towers of delicate crystal, rising like forgotten cathedrals, and among them, a single spicule, a slender rod of pure glass, stretches from the seafloor toward the dark above, belonging to Monoraphis chuni, a sponge that plants itself once, and stands for 11,000 years, through ice ages, through tides, through the rise of cities. It remains, rooted in time, a silent witness to everything that floats, and there in the twilight where oxygen thins, a creature with a name like a myth, floats in peace. Vampiroteuthis infernalis, the vampire squid. Not a vampire at all, not a hunter, but a gentle collector. It unfurls two fine threads, like invisible arms, into the drifting snow, and waits. No chase, no struggle, just the soft gathering of what the sea provides, its body glowing faintly, with quiet bioluminescence. Like starlight trapped in water, a dreamer, in the heart of the deep, living without violence, without want, and deeper still, where sound behaves differently. Where pressure and cold bend noise into song, there is a hidden river of sound. The Sofar Channel, a ribbon of water, where whispers can travel, thousands of miles, without fading, and through it. The great baleen whales sing, not with voices we can easily hear, but with low rumbling pulses that vibrate through the ocean's soul. A mother calls to her calf, a traveler shares its path, and somewhere far away, across the curve of the earth, another listens and answers, their songs flowing, like slow breaths, through the planet's hidden veins, connecting, remembering. Being beneath the surface, far below where light can reach, the ocean floor unfolds in quiet stillness, miles deep, where the water is soft and cold, vast muddy plains stretch like forgotten meadows. Here, in this hushed world, live small herds of sea pigs. They drift slowly, almost floating, translucent bodies glowing faint pale pink in the dark. On delicate tube feet, filled with seawater, they walk with gentle purpose. Always facing into the current, they wait for the scent of food carried from above. A quiet life in a place untouched by time. When a great whale at last lets go of life, it begins a final journey. Slowly, gracefully, it sinks through the dark water. A quiet descent like snow falling in winter, and when it reaches the seafloor, it becomes something new, a gift to the deep. A whale fall, a soft mound of nourishment in the mud, Around it, life gathers slowly at first, then more. Strange worms, pale crabs, tiny scavengers, all drawn to the quiet feast. For decades, sometimes 50 years, this resting place breathes life. An end becomes a beginning so softly no one hears. At the very deepest point where the ocean folds into itself lies the Mariana Trench. 36,000 feet down, pressure so heavy it would crush most things. Yet here, life persists. Tiny single-celled beings called xenophyophores bloom like sea roses in the dark. They are fragile, almost like lace. Each one builds a home from grains of sand and time. Delicate spheres up to 4 inches wide, shaped by slow currents. They sit breathing in the silence, perfectly shaped by the weight of the world above. And they endure in stillness and patience, in peace. Far below the waves where no sunlight dances, deep-sea corals grow. They do not need the sun. They feed on what the currents bring drifting down from far above. In the cold and quiet, they grow so slowly you would never notice. A single black coral might take 4,000 years to form a single branch. 4,000 years longer than cities, longer than empires. Each twist in the coral, a breath taken over centuries. They stand like ancient sentinels, watching nothing, needing nothing. And in the Gulf of Mexico and in the Red Sea, something stranger waits. Pools of water lying on the seafloor like lakes at the bottom of the world. But this water is heavier, denser, full of salt. It does not mix with the ocean around it. So it rests still with a surface of its own. Tiny ripples, slow as dreams, move across it. Fish swim up and stop as if seeing a mirror of the sky. Nothing enters the brine and lives. But around the edges, life gathers delicately, carefully. A border between worlds where the deep rests and dreams. Deep in the ocean, a soft rain falls. Not of water, but of silence. Marine snow drifting down through dark, still water. Tiny bits of life, falling like dust in moonlight. Weeks, months, floating gently toward the seafloor. A hush of nourishment, settling. On the vast, quiet plain, feeding hidden worlds, beneath miles of calm. Far below, where light never reaches, ancient forests grow, not of leaves but of coral, pale, slow breathing time. Lophelia pertusa, reaching with fragile arms, eating only what the current brings. No sun, no hurry, just centuries unfolding. Some groves older than memory, 40,000 winters, standing still. In the hush of deep time, a shape drifts, soft, weightless, the Dumbo octopus. Fins like whispers, flapping slow. 13,000 feet down, in the soft dark, it swims like a dream. No ink, no fear, only movement floating above the floor. Where everything sleeps, it glides, a quiet traveler. In endless night, beneath it all, a river moves, not on the surface, but deep, deep, in the ocean's slow heart. The conveyor belt. Salt temperature pulling water across the world. 1,000 years, to complete one loop. Warmth carried, nutrients shared in a quiet embrace. Linking seas, in one slow breath, and on the floor, something bright, not with light, but with shape. The Venus flower basket, a glass sponge, woven from silica, like lace, frozen in deep water stillness, hollow open, it filters the dark water, and inside, 2 tiny shrimp live their whole lives, born in its arms, never leaving, wrapped in a crystal home. Warm, soft, deep. Everything falls, everything flows, everything waits in the vast. Still, deep, hidden on the ocean floor, a quiet sea within the sea. Brine pools rest like mirrors, formed in deep, still hollows. Saltier, heavier water settles into ancient basins. Shorelines of shadow ripple with ghostly calm. No waves disturb them, just a soft shimmer beneath. Far below, in cold, dark silence, a gentle light appears. Sea angels drift like whispers through the endless deep. Translucent, weightless, their wings pulse slow and soft, like spirits made of moonlight, floating in frozen sky. No sound breaks the hush, only grace moving through water. When a great whale sinks, it carries peace to the floor. Its body rests, a quiet gift to the dark. Around it, life gathers, softly, slowly over years. A hidden garden blooms in stillness. No fanfare, no end, only return in the deepest zones where light has never touched. A soft glow answers. Tiny pulses, blue-green, flicker like stars below. Bioluminescence, a language without sound. They speak in light, rhythmic, gentle, low, a constellation, breathing in silence. And beneath it all, The abyssal plains stretch on, vast, flat, deeper than thought, wrapped in ageless cold. No wind stirs here, no storm reaches down, only the slow fall of soft dust from far above. Time moves like breath, long and deep and full. One quiet moment melts into the next. The ocean holds everything, in warm, dark stillness, and you are floating in that same peace. Let your breath slow, let your thoughts drift, like sediment, softly falling. Like light, barely glowing. You are safe, in the deep, in the vast, in the quiet. You are held. Sleep now, sleep. Deep in the ocean, a soft rain falls. Not of water, but of lightless flakes, marine snow drifting down through silent layers. Weeks pass, still it falls. Softly, softly. Landing on the dark seafloor. A gentle blanket, rich and slow. Feeding lives unseen. In the hush of the deep, delicate as glass. Ancient sponges stand, woven from silica threads. Still so still, Monorhaphis chuni. One lived over 11,000 years, a quiet tower in the dark, filtering cold water with a rhythm too slow to feel, home to tiny drifters, floating through its glow above the floor. A shadow glides, the Dumbo octopus, fins like soft ears, catching the faintest current. No rush, no sound, just slow drift, gelatinous body swaying. Like a dancer in deep time, moving through the hush. Without effort, far and wide, the abyssal plains stretch. Flat, endless, covered in soft sediment, settled over millions of years, a quiet bed beneath the sea. Temperatures never change, currents move like breath, slow, deep. A world without hurry, wrapped in twilight. In the dark, corals grow, pale, fragile. Lophelia pertusa. No sun touches them, yet they build, millimeters per year, towering forests over time. Delicate as lace, holding hundreds of quiet lives, a heaven in the deep, forever blooming in stillness, soft, warm, deep. A tiny creature floats no larger than your fingertip, drifting through the still, dark water. It breathes through mucus. Delicate, luminous around it blooms a fragile home, like a soap bubble, made of silk-thin threads, hanging quiet in the midnight zone. 3 feet wide, soft as mist, clear as thought, food floats in. Tiny specks, marine snow, caught in the net of its breath. When the home grows heavy, clogged with time, it lets go, the balloon sinks. Slow down, down. A ghostly sphere, drifting to the floor, and the larvation begins again, building a new one, in hours, pure, clean, still, far below. The seafloor folds into bowls, soft craters, filled with water heavier than the sea. Brine pools, still as sleep, calm as memory. The surface ripples, not from wind, but from the slow breath of the planet, gentle waves beneath the deep. Mussels rest at the edge, clinging in halos like quiet witnesses. A submersible passes, Alvin, a soft light in the dark, watching, without sound. These lakes never mix, they stay apart, held in balance, ancient, undisturbed. And there, a small shape floats, wrapped in velvet, dark red, almost black, the vampire squid. No teeth, no rage, only stillness. It does not hunt, it waits. 2 filaments unspool behind, like threads from a dream, catching falling dust. Marine snow, slow, steady, its body dusted with soft light. Bioluminescent spots flicker like distant stars, a lantern made of breath and shadow, floating in the quiet zone, where oxygen thins and time slows. Deeper still, a hidden path, not seen, not touched. The Sofar Channel, a ribbon in the sea, at 2,600 feet. Here, cold meets pressure. And sound changes. Low notes linger. Whale songs, moans of giants, slip through this layer, without fading. They travel thousands of miles, soft, continuous. A whisper that circles the world, never breaking, never ending. A slow conversation beneath the continents and in the dark, where no sun reaches. Light is made, not born, but grown. Tiny bodies glow, 80 out of every 100 in the twilight. Blue, green, soft pulses. They speak in flashes, call in glimmers, hide in bursts. The water becomes a sky, not above, but all around, a galaxy, not in space, but in depth. Stars that drift, stars that breathe, stars that fade and bloom again, floating forever in the warm, soft, deep, still, still, still. A soft rain falls where no storm has passed, organic whispers drifting through eternal night, each flake a memory of life above, sinking slowly like thoughts in a dream, weeks unfolding as it spirals downward. Feeding silent mouths in the hush below, a snowfall without sound, nourishing the dark with gentle decay, and the floor receives it, as if the ocean is dreaming its own hunger. Deep beneath, unseen rivers glide. Cold and salt-heavy, they begin their descent, a slow breath drawn across continents. Warm waters journey poleward, then fade, cooling, sinking, beginning the long return. A single drop may wander for 1,000 years, touching every shore in quiet passing, circling the world in a single, solemn arc. No rush, no force, only the pull of density, the planet's heartbeat in cold, dark motion, an embrace without end. Linking all seas in silence. Far below, a mother hangs suspended, her body aligned with the unseen current, her calf beside her, perfectly still. They float upright like pillars of sleep, eyes closed, breath held in deep reserve, 15 minutes of quiet surrender. The pod a column of calm in the blue. No sound, no movement, only drifting weight, as if the sea has cradled them in pause. A ritual older than memory, they rest like statues carved from stillness, and the dark holds them. A glow begins small, then steady blue light blooming at the edge of sight. The atoll moves, a slow pulse in its wake. Each ripple a soft call into emptiness, its body ringed with a halo of calm fire. Not to warn, not to hunt, but to be seen in the unbroken night. A living star in a sky without stars, its light trembles as the water parts. Then settles like breath after a whisper. It drifts and the dark remembers its name, then forgets again. Along the spine of the deep forests rise, not green, not tall, but dark and slow. Black coral branches etching the current. Growing less than a millimeter each year, one life may span 4,000 winters, longer than cities, longer than wars. Leopathes, a name spoken in silence. Its limbs swaying with tides from distant storms. Witness to empires rising and dissolving, to ice advancing, then retreating, to ships falling like leaves into its shade, and it remains, a quiet chronicle in the cold. Unseen, unhurried, never alone. The ocean remembers in layers, in snow, in current, in breath, in light. Its stories fall like dust through time, and the deep listens, always listening. In perfect, open dark, and we, only just beginning to hear, beneath the weight of endless sea, lies a world untouched by time. The abyssal plains unfold in silence, soft and ancient, stretching farther than any mountain or plain above. Here, where light has never reached, a single footprint could linger, like a whisper in dust, for 10,000 years. No wind, no storm, only the slow breath of the planet, rocking the deep to sleep. Drifting through the dim and quiet dark, a tiny creature weaves a dream from silk and breath. The giant larvation builds its fragile home, a balloon of mucus, clear as starlight. 3 feet wide and impossibly light. It floats like a forgotten jelly, filtering the water with patient grace, until the day it drifts away, leaving its house behind, sinking like a sigh, folding into the depths, a slow surrender. On the ocean floor, where pressure hums a lullaby, sea pens rise like forgotten quills. Rooted in soft ooze, they sway in currents older than memory, each one glowing with its own quiet pulse, a lantern in the endless night. Together they form a meadow beneath the waves, where light blooms without sun, and darkness feels like peace. Deeper still, where sound bends and lingers, the Sofar Channel cradles song, a hidden river of water, where low voices travel forever. The baleen whale sings, a note so deep it moves through bone, not ear. And across oceans, that voice glides, never fading, never lost. A companion in the long night. At the edge of all we know, 7 miles down, the Mariana Trench holds its breath. No light, no echo, only stillness so complete it feels like the beginning of the world. The ooze settles, soft as down, over stone older than memory. Here, beneath the weight of the sea. There is no need to move, no need to be, only to rest, and with that, I think that's enough for tonight. Your mind has wandered far below, through quiet worlds no eyes will ever see. Now it's time to let go, to drift back, to the warmth above. If this helped you soften, if it carried you even a little towards sleep, perhaps leave a like, a quiet thank you. And if you'd like to return again, subscribe, and I'll be here, always waiting in the calm. Whenever the world feels loud, whenever you need to sink into stillness, I'll be here. Good night. Sleep deeply. And remember, the ocean keeps its secrets gently. It holds the quietest places, the softest lights, the deepest peace. Whenever you're ready, you can return. Rest now. Everything is exactly as it should be.